So this is another breezy day as we're heading north. We're heading up to Cuan Sound. It's 25 knots at the moment on a beam ridge. We're cracking on.
We've just spent a rainy but otherwise calm night sheltered on the Isle of Gylen, and today we're continuing on our way up the west coast of Scotland. We don't have a schedule on this trip, we're simply out to explore the islands, enjoying being on the water and sailing her reef.
Got a reef in the mainsail, a couple of turns in the head sail. The wind picks up anymore, we'll probably put another reef in the main, maybe get the staysail out. Like I said, we've got 25 knots through wind at the moment on the beam, and the boat's handling pretty well. Sound of Mull. So we've got a second reef in the mainsail now. It's gusting to 28 knots, so better safe than sorry. We're going to the boat's a little bit more upright. We're still cracking on, doing 9.6 knots. We've got a couple of knots of current going up the sound here for the next 4 hours. So hopefully should make some good way moving north and get to Cuan Sound early this afternoon.
We're currently heading up the Sound of Jura, between the Isle of Jura and the mainland. Our destination for the day is a well-sheltered anchorage on the north side of the Isle of Lyng. We've been up and down this sound several times, and it's always been interesting sailing, even in light winds, and especially as you get further north up the channel. When the wind's from the west like it is today, you can expect sudden wind acceleration and direction shifts as you pass the mountains and islands. We found that the currents pushing into and out of the locks and around the islands can create some convergence areas, and these can require the helmsman to pay extra attention. As an example, you can see here where the state of the water is about to change due to the current direction shift at one of these convergence zones. This one's not of any concern, but it will change the way the boat behaves, so it's good practice to keep an eye out for those visual changes and anticipate any potential shift at the helm.
So we're approaching the top of Jura now. Here you can see the gap between the top of Jura where the Kerrera runs through. We've still got quite strong westerlies, so I'm just going to put some head sail, just get prepared for any strong winds that might blow between the 2 islands.
So as anticipated, as we approach the gap between the islands, the wind starts to pick up again, and it's now gusting 30 knots. Even though the wind is now stronger, you can see that the water has actually smoothed out quite a bit. We've still got current going north for the next 2 hours here in the Sound, though the current direction has just turned between the island and the water's now flowing between them and towards us, and it's in the same direction as the wind, and it's this effect that's flattening these waves out. As we get to the top of the Sound and approach the narrowing between the two lighthouses, the wind eases off. We make our way around into the small channel that's rather generously named the Cuan Sound and find a quiet spot to anchor for the night. boys in for the night. There must be some fish because there's loads of seals, so what are they eating? What are they eating? I'm going to have fish. Do you think it's too shallow? Oh, there's a seal, look there.
Yeah, I see it.
So he must be catching fish. Think it's too shallow? I could catch a cow.
Try it, it's like 7 metres.
So we could reel it in. Is the fishing line strong enough?
Not the cow, the fish.
Alright. Well, this is definitely a bit of a different evening to the morning that we set off from Gear. It's actually turned out really nice. So I'm just going to have a glass of wine, some cheese and then a curry.
Wow! I don't be
Playing what?
playing it's nonsense.
What do you mean it's nonsense? After a nice quiet night, we're about to raise the anchor and make our way back out the channel the way we came in. We'll be heading a few short miles up towards Oban, where we'll be stopping at the Isle of Kerrera. It's 9 in the morning and the weather's pretty calm, but the forecast is showing that the wind's due to swing around and come from the east late this afternoon and significantly pick up in strength. So we're heading to meet some friends in the refuge of the bar at Kerrera Marina. So as expected, not long after we arrive at the moorings, the wind starts to pick up, and within a little over an hour, it's already blowing 40 knots. Even though it's windy, the waves are only small, so rather than fit the engine, we decide to try and row ashore. We'll be fine going this way. I don't think you'll make it past that boat. Oh, I'm gonna get really wet. Oh, watch how this boat's swinging now. Yeah.
Let's just see.
You can go back, yeah. You can go back. We're gonna get wet if you do that.
We're gonna get wet anyway. Let you ready, move your feet.
So, you're not going. Alright, well I can't go in. I don't want to go to the pub wet.
I think I can do that.
Ah,
No problem.
okay. It'll take a while though.
I'm not saying it wouldn't.
When we manage to get ashore going the easy way, we'll have to see how well it goes in the dark against the wind after a few beers.
Just don't drop it with the capsize.
Okay. No, you can't see anything, it's too dark. The wind had dropped a little by the time we left the pub, which made getting back in the dinghy a bit easier than we'd anticipated, which was probably a good thing, since we did stay for perhaps one too many.
One too many.
This morning, we decided to go ashore and take a walk to the south side of the island and check out the ruins of Gylen Castle.
On our way ashore we noticed this boat on the moorings near us, and this is quite cool as this was Francis Chichester's boat that he won the O-Star in just prior to his attempted non-stop circumnavigation in the slightly more famous Gypsy Moth 4. Yeah, pal.
Kerrera is a lovely quiet little island, just a stone's throw away from the busy town of Oban on the other side of the bay. Other than the friendly little marina, there's only a handful of farms and houses on the whole island, and it's a great little place to stop over and reprovision on a journey up or down the coast. The ruins at Gylen Castle, here on the south of the island, overlook the Firth of Lorne and the Island and Mull, and the small bay to the east can make a nice anchorage in the right conditions. The building was first built in the 1500s and was only actually occupied for about 60 years before being burned and abandoned. In recent years, it's undergone some extensive repairs, though they didn't manage to fix the toilet.
Medieval pizza oven.
could just jump over the two. We're here at Kerrera. We spent a nice quiet night on the mooring last night. Eric Andreas pulled up next to us. He's just come back from St Kilda and he's on his way back to Norway. Just setting off now, but he's off going up the Caledonia Canal. So, hey Eric. So yeah, we had a little chat with him last night. Said he had good weather in St Kilda, so that's good. We're just going to top up with some water over at the marina and then we're going to head up to the Sound of Mull. But tide's against us at the minute, so we've got to wait an hour anyway because it's quite a strong current, so just waiting for it to turn. But weather looks okay, but I think the wind is going to be on our nose a little bit, as always.
So we're just passing the tail end of the race boats from West Highland Week, which is a week-long race event around the Firth of Lorne and up the Sound of Mull. And yeah, this is all the boats heading back to Dunstafnage, I'm guessing. I don't think I've seen this many boats up the west coast before, all together in one place.
Like being in the solar.
Yeah, gladly we're heading in the opposite direction anyway. Be a little bit quieter where we're going, hopefully. Wind's picked up to 12 knots, so we've got the sails up now. Back to make our way up to the entrance of the Sound of Mull. We're at slack water at the moment, so we're expecting to pick up a bit more speed in the next 15 to 20 minutes. But we're cracking on nicely at 6 knots anyway. Hopefully the wind might be able to shift around to the side a little bit, so we're not beating our way all the way up. But we're not really holding out much longer for that. So getting into the Sound of Mull proper now. We've got about a knot and a half of tide with us. Left all those sailboats behind. We've got one other sailboat just in front and we've got the rest of the place to ourselves.
We quickly caught up to the other boat in front and this turned into a friendly little race.
not?
Sorry! We definitely had the advantage of being a little bit bigger, but it was good fun and it helped break up the slog of beating into the wind going up the Sound of Mull. We could see there were several boats in the anchorage we were intending on heading to, so we had a quick look on the charts for another option for the night.
So we're heading into this snug little anchorage that we spotted on the Antares charts. It looks quite compact, but we'll see how tight it is when we actually get in there. So there's already another boat in there, but I think we're just going to take a look anyway.
The other boat was anchored quite near the entrance, so after a courtesy check with the skipper, who informed us that they were leaving soon anyway, we did a wide sweep to check for the depth and managed to tuck in for the night.
Join us in the next video where we find some more sweet spots to anchor in and go in search of wildlife on our way up to Mallaig.